You see me? I was about to drop all the plates. I was about to drop them all.
Just
and I was like, I have seen the start and conclusion of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Oh yeah,
like 11 times.
Oh,
it's good.
Since last week.
Yeah, you can finish that game in like 30 minutes.
The first one or the second one?
Oh, yeah.
The Turtles in Time
arcade.
Or yeah, but
the arcade game. Yeah, the original OG.
Like the original OG. It is such a short thing. I kind of.
I mean, it's an arcade game.
I know. I just feel like I feel like a couple years ago I went back to MAME and did like the X-Men one, and the X-Men one was like 4 hours maybe.
Is it really that long? I thought it was shorter than that.
I don't really remember time
okay,
so well,
enough.
but this game, and believe me, I've had 11 playthroughs to now have an average. It's very short. It's like 35 minutes tops.
Oh wow, really?
Well, that sounds about right.
It's also like 35 minutes and $20. Like that game, I feel like can take it out of you pretty quickly. Which one has Baxter Stockman as the first boss? That must be Turtles in Time then.
This is where like
Baxter does show up, but I don't think he's the first boss.
He's the sewer boss.
That's
okay,
right.
Not on the bridge.
Yeah.
I think it must be Turtles in Time where he's on the bridge.
Yeah, Turtles in Time. Okay, maybe. Shit, now I got to do that. But anyway,
which one has the giant Krang like that is next to the bridge?
Oh yeah, that's not this one.
Okay,
Krang's in this one. He's in the Technodrome at the end.
Okay,
and they double drill you. You're like, oh, Krang, Shredder can like clone himself in this. There's like 3 of them.
Look, man, it's a video game. Like it's like the Simpsons arcade game. Like they gave those people fucking weird powers too. It's just you got to do something,
Like shoots like a anti-mutagen electric bolt at you, and you turn into a little turtle, and it's like an insta kill.
Turtles in Time. That game's rad.
Oh yeah.
What's the bridge one? What are we thinking?
I think that's Turtles in Time. I think that's Turtles in Time.
Turtles
Somebody
in
in the chat said it's a construction site, which might be more correct than a bridge.
Okay.
Huh.
I think I just remember like next to something. Yeah, Cowabunga.
That OG arcade game though, like I played a fair amount of Turtles in Time, but the amount of money me child Alex fucking pumped into that original arcade game is embarrassing.
Yes.
And not because it's a bad game. It's not. Like as those arcade beat 'em ups go, it's one of the best. But it's just, it's not like I had a lot of allowance money to be throwing around. But instead of spending it on things I might enjoy long term, it was like, well, what if I just played through TMNT again?
It's a great looking game, especially at the time. Animation was incredible. Like the variety in like, wow, who are you gonna play? I'm like Donatello because I get the bow staff and then I can get some of that reach and pokes guys and flips them over, and that's fun. Or you got the even though I really like Raphael, I don't know if Raphael's the one I want to put my quarter in. Like I don't feel that confident in the size to.
The animations in this one, he's kind of just like doing a little stabby, like grabbing like a hot dog off a plate.
Doesn't he do the twirl, or is that Turtles in Time as well? I don't remember.
He's just sort of doing like this a little bit.
Okay.
He's just sort of like, fidgeting with it. But it's really fun. And like I said,
who's your favorite turtle?
In that game, I feel like I have the most fun playing with Donatello.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I refuse to believe any of those 4 turtles have any varying range whatsoever.
Probably not.
What actually happens?
The boxes are probably all the same.
Yeah, I just think like, looks like you have more range with that bow staff, but turns out it's all the same shit.
Right.
I mean, how you toss a foot soldier looks different, but like, I don't think there's any meaningful difference in the way that game feels.
No.
Like my kid plays it by himself now, and he'll just be like, I want to play as this. I'm like, yeah, he's played it so many times.
Bless his little heart that he will never have to know that game as a thing that makes you bankrupt. Like he's just there on a console. He does not have to put real money into it. He can just sit there and play it. And that is, God, just babes in the woods, man.
I know. I made like the left trigger, the coin insert thing, and he's just like, cowabunga,
cowabunga, cowabunga.
So great.
Pizza time.
I'll figure out what I think X-Men he should probably check out. He's not like super into the superhero thing, but we'll do that next. If you have and then maybe Final Fight's probably too
Final Fight and Streets of Rage, I would say a couple more years, and then jump on those. The Simpsons one, that one never came to home stuff, did it? Because the licensing for that is probably
not
fucking
exactly.
I feel like you're.
I
feel like you're.
Simpsons. Let's just write down Simpsons.
Well, the Simpsons one is fun. Like it's not it's like all those beat 'em ups, like they lose something when you are not feeding a shit ton of money into them. But at the same time, I think that game is pretty fun. X-Men is such a weird one. One, because it really shines when you have like 3 or 4 people, and obviously when you have 6, but 1 or 2 people, it's not as much fun. But also, it's such a specific license of X-Men. It's based on that what is it, the Pride of the X-Men pilot that they did that was supposed to be the X-Men animated series, but then they canceled that and then did the other X-Men animated series that ended up coming out,
which is very good.
Yeah, but that's the one that has like Australian Wolverine in it, which is just fucking weird.
Really? It's still fun to play as Cyclops though, like just using your beams. Did you do the Captain America and the Avengers one?
Wait. We're conflating so many things here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about the X-Men 4 or 6 player arcade, right?
The one that
the character designs.
Screens?
Yeah. The character designs from that game were based on the character designs that were in X-Men. I think it was Pride of the X-Men, which was a pilot for an X-Men animated thing that they ended up releasing as like a standalone movie.
I always thought the X-Men likenesses in that were like kind of what I remembered from the cartoon, from like the
the cartoon we all
of that stuff made it in there, I think, but like the Wolverine design was, I think, specifically based on that other cartoon.
Cool.
And I think like because like some of those character designs were also based on like the 70s and 80s versions of those characters, like the Cyclops design and that stuff.
I loved how you could just like, when you had one of those robots down, you could just like kick them until they were, and like Nightcrawler wouldn't even kick, you would just sort of like scrape it a little bit.
The shitty little kick is the best part of that game.
Yeah, it was just like beep, beep, beep,
Bamf.
Okay, and what was the Captain America one?
And the Avengers, that's the
I remember that one.
It's
not as good.
I can't move.
That game's good. I don't have as fond of memories of that one.
Gauntlet. Go play some Gauntlet.
We're not doing that.
No,
we're not just going to name beat 'em ups. We can't just do that all day.
Is Gauntlet beat 'em up? I guess Gauntlet's kind of. Is it? Is it?
I mean, Golden Axe is.
Golden Axe for sure. That's like the prototype. But like, is Gauntlet a beat 'em up?
Maybe not.
This is a little bit like a hot dog, a sandwich kind of thing.
Here's the thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. If you want to call it a beat 'em up or not important to me in the slightest.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe someone in the chat just wrote one of my favorite arcade games of all time, Ivan Reitman's Super Off-Road. And I feel like that's going to have to happen with him too.
But if you're not spinning a wheel 1,732 degrees to make a 5-degree turn, then what are you doing?
It's like trying to play.
The car goes a tiny little bit.
It's like trying to play APB off the cabinet. Like that is not what that game is. If you don't have a steering wheel and that is too fucking sensitive and a pedal that barely works, you are not playing APB.
Yeah, Super Sprint and Ivan Reitman are just games that are made for.
Also, not Ivan Reitman. Not Ivan Reitman. That's a different Ivan.
Sorry.
That's Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters.
For Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Iron Man Stewart is a different guy.
I'll play the Ivan Reitman racing game on foot. They just.
I want Ivan Stewart's fucking Ghostbusters. That would be great. I'd be into that.
Man, how's that not a joke yet? It's got to be, right?
It is now. We made it.
Yeah, so I actually looked into buying an Ivan Stewart, looked into buying one of those, and they're so much more money than you think they would be.
What do you think? Like 600? Like what it was like 1,000?
$3,000.
What? Are you buying like a mint condition, like new old stock or something?
Here's the thing: maintenance on those things is probably a nightmare. So I bet the premiums on those things have just never gone down.
I don't think the maintenance is crazy.
You don't?
I think. No,
we don't think that wheel sensor is just getting abused constantly.
I mean, maybe the wheels, but like the Ninja Turtles one, an original one, is the same price too, and that's just like the PCB and the joysticks and like.
Is it just because there's fewer of them still in the wild working?
Maybe
at this
that's
point?
What it is. Maybe it's just a rareness.
They're definitely more specialized parts, with the wheels and the pedals for the Ivan Stewart the Iron Man. Anyway, those games are super fun, man. I played those all the time. You got to spend your money. You get the tires and the nitro.
The Ivan Stewart one, the thing that pissed me off about Off-Road was just like, you get to a point in that game where it's just like, nah, you ain't getting any further.
No,
like you're just not going to win a game anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
You've maxed out all the specs of your little go-kart.
You pump in some more quarters, buy some nitro, man. You can buy your way out of that.
You got to get to the point where you're spending $1 of nitro boost, and you're just like, all right.
So I think I found
rethink some shit.
I think I found with this. I found the first, whatchamacallit, not loot box, but a piece of, hey, you want a time doubler or want to win this race? You can just buy some nitro, as many as you want.
So ahead of its time.
So ahead of that Iron Man. Did any of you know who the fuck that was when you played
Never
that
heard
game?
of him.
Nope.
Okay.
Remotely.
When I was a kid playing that in a Pizza Hut, I thought he was a created fictional character driver who was just real good at off-roading.
He might as well be.
Yeah.
But I actually still don't know. Is he real?
Is he? I don't know. Maybe this
is he a marketing construction? He could be.
I assume he's was a real like off-road racer who had a tiny little steering wheel in his truck that spun a lot
with no gear shift whatsoever.
No gear shift, and just spun a tiny
little nitro boost,
and then the car went. That was a fun game. I think that game made RC Pro-Am more fun. I don't know if RC Pro-Am. I remember RC Pro-Am being a lot of fun, but I feel like I wanted it to be those games at the time, and was like, it's the closest we're gonna get.
Yeah. I remember when they finally ported that to console and just renting off-road. I must have spent way more. How come my parents didn't realize what was going on there? Like, Jeff, we have spent $111 with you renting Double Dragon 2 and Super Off-Road.
$30 game.
Just fucking buy the damn game for you.
You don't gotta keep the economy going.
We're just kids back then,
I think you've got some good choices. I think the Simpsons, I think the Turtles in Time was definitely go in on that. And man, there's a whole range of beat 'em ups. There's that original Ninja Gaiden was pretty fun. You could spin around on the pole, but that's if you're trying to stay away from the more blood spewing out of people.
He's a Turtles kid now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already got the face masks and everything. It's just like,
wait, like real
what's his
face
favorite
masks?
turtle?
Yeah, he's got to wear a face mask to school, so he's just got like a Donatello one.
Okay.
One that just says Turtle Power.
Is Donatello his favorite?
I don't think he really has one right now.
All right.
I think he's just sort of trying them all out still. He loves the van, and I'm just like, dude, the van, it's not as big of a part of the lore as like
the toy would make it be.
No.
It's
a cool van though.
A cool ass van. It's what it is. It's in the pinball machine.
Yeah.
Where it holds 4 balls and it just like spits them out. But I actually have the van in my parents' place, so
I think
gotta
that
go
show,
bring up a bunch of
that
stuff
show
there.
really did a disservice to a whole generation of leading kids to believe that reporters were issued cool vans on a much wider scale than maybe they actually were.
That cartoon, though, I mean, I don't want to declare whether or not it holds up. I think there's a lot of cool shit in that cartoon still.
Yeah, good characters.
Yeah, and just the jokes are whatever, and they're
for kids.
They also kind of treat April like dog shit in the beginning, where they're just like, yeah, we're turtles, lady. Get your shit together. Where she's like, she can't believe it. She falls down the sewer grate. They save her, and they're just like, oh, we're turtles. What don't you get? What don't you get?
Is she? Well, they are teenagers, so they are kind of assholes. Is she?
And Splinter's like, guys.
Is she a good reporter? I can't remember. Or is she like a up and coming reporter who's always trying to get a scoop? Or is she like April O'Neil, like your world renowned reporter?
I think she's just like a regional, like New York City reporter, like a local news reporter. She's not really she doesn't have like Pulitzer ambitions.
No.
I don't.
Okay,
think.
and she's never just like, I gotta get the scoop.
Well, she's trying to figure out like who the ninjas stealing all the expensive equipment are.
Always, constantly.
And yeah, she's like, I'm gonna own this ninja robbery beat. And
it's good work if you can get it.
Not if you're trying to be stealthy wearing a yellow jumpsuit everywhere you go.
The best is these like these awesome looking like 90s gang members like come up to her, and like her entire male like crew just ditches her in a second. They're just like, "You're on your own, April." Like, and she's like, "What the fuck? How could you do this to me?" And then, you know,
she has ninja friends.
Yeah, she has
history.
mutant Ninja Turtle friends. In the Turtleverse, I haven't watched a cartoon in a long time. Is there a switchover point where the world knows about, like, the turtles go out in public and it's okay, or are they always kind of underground figures?
That's a really good point. I mean, in the movies, they're just a secret, right? Like,
Yeah.
although when Vanilla Ice sees them, it's like we all knew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in the cartoon, they're sort of just like, "Nah, you didn't see that."
There's a lot of trench
wearing a
coat.
trench coat.
Right, trench coat. Right. Yeah.
It's clear.
I've
I'm
got
just a
back
large
problems.
person. Yeah,
I remember it being very much. I remember it being very much a Splinter wants them to be subtle, but they are not into being subtle. So it just kind of it's a badly kept secret.
Okay.
You know, they're sneaky enough. I mean, that's the whole like teachings of Splinter's, you know, lessons, right? Like, you know, ninja vanish and whatnot.
But like Bebop and Rocksteady are just running around tearing it up, right? Everybody knows
fair.
There's mutants, right?
Yeah, there's
fair.
definitely a mutant warthog just running around with a gun.
Right.
Like that is pretty obvious.
And there's all kinds of wacky shit, like the pizza monsters, like things happen all the time, and it's never like the Men in Black thing where like you didn't see this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's yeah. So people know about it. They don't really talk about that too much, but you know, I'm letting him blow through the entire series. I think he's at like season 3 already.
My kids are still watching. They once in a while they fucking put on that Mario Super Show.
Oh, that's a trip.
And I'm always like,
trip.
It is a trip.
I'm always like, am I a bad parent for letting you watch this? I'm not sure. Is there something else we could watch maybe that is not
But did you get the same feeling that I got when I turned on that pilot episode of Ninja Turtles? It's called like Turtle Tracks or something like that. I was just like instantly teleported in a way where I was like, I was just mouthing along with every line. I'm like, how do I know this?
It's
like,
all coming back out.
It's been uploaded into the Matrix or something. It was a wild thing. And I feel like the same stuff would happen with that Mario show.
Yeah, I had that experience recently, but not with Turtles, but with the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Specifically, some of the like first season episodes of that show are just like so fucking burned into my brain that like I could just recite beat for beat what was happening. And you know, it is my one great regret that I never got to see the New York of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and real Ghostbusters cartoons. It passed me by. That New York is long gone, and I'm sad. Thanks, Giuliani.
You just need a lot more.
It's probably for the better.
Yeah.
I need to go and find that weirdo, the gorilla Ghostbusters thing. We've talked
the other Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I need to go back and just like, you know, absorb some of that one more time and just sort of see that. I have a vision of it in my mind with like the logo being white and like it being, you know, they enter some like upside down world, but I need to just take that in one more time and put that to bed, I think.
I remember being really angry at the existence of that show.
Yeah.
Not even that because it was awful. I mean, it wasn't good, but like, I remember the second it came on one day and I was like, wait, Ghostbusters, what are we, what?
I was like, how's no one getting sued? I don't understand.
Yeah, I legitimately, I think I might have asked my mom, I was like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
How are they allowed to do this? And she didn't have any fucking
like,
answers because she doesn't know anything about this.
That's a gorilla. Clearly, that's not a human. That's a gorilla, and it's they're ghost musters.
My brand loyalty was strong at the time.
Totally.
All right, we're gonna take a break.